Construction Coach here. Today we're going to talk about Aquor house hydrants. I was looking on the internet for a better way than just putting a hose bib up on the outside of the house. I found there's a big problem with hoses trying to water all the way around the perimeter. So when I was designing this place, I've picked 6 locations to put a house hydrant on. That way I'm going to be able to take my hose with me around to each location, and then at the end of my watering I'll just put the hose inside the garage, keeping it safe from the outside elements. You're able to just slide it in and lock it on and get instant water. I'm going to take you through a regular setup, and we're just going to mock up on this wall. That'll give you the idea on how to incorporate this into your home.
I'm using Aquor's mounting block. It is necessary to use a mounting block if installing to any surface that is not plumb, like bevel siding or stonework. The house hydrant is designed on a slight angle so water drains out after disengaging the hose connector. Make sure the surface is plumb, and the debris cover will provide the perfect angle when screwed in behind the valve. There are lots of different options for valve length, debris covers, and hose connectors. AquarWaterSystems.com is where you can see all the options and get expert advice for your water system. Here's a quick demonstration on how Aquor house hydrants have made it easier for me to water my property and how clean and flawless they look on the house. Then we will get into how they were installed. This is an installation into a plumb belly band. I will drill a small hole and check inside, making sure its position will work. Then I will drill an 1.5-inch hole, slide in the valve, tuck debris cover behind, and screw in with supply number 10 screws. Test and make sure it operates smoothly and move on to the next one. I will go through and install them all, then we'll jump into the basement and tie them into the water line. Drill small pilot hole, check inside, drill 1.5-inch hole, slide in house hydrant, hold debris cover behind, and screw in number 10 screws. This one on the front required a mounting block because it was going into the siding, not the belly band. I will finish the sides with caulking after. Here is the 4th location around the house foundation perimeter. One nice thing about this install is I have a 3/4-inch water line around the perimeter on the inside to tie into. If I have more than one hydrant in use, there should not be much pressure loss because of the larger supply. Here's a quick look at the locations before we tie the hydrants into the supply. I got one on that side. In part 2, we're going to do one in the stone in the front. Here's one in the backer block on the front, down the side. 5th location on the back here, and the sixth location is on the upper balcony. We're really excited about part 2 because we're also going to install 2 house hydrants inside the house for cleaning purposes in the master bathrooms. We're going to use them to clean the jet tubs and the steam showers out. Time to plumb these in. The back fitting on the valve removes easy on and off by hand. I will remove it and work in a clean area to thread a PEX adapter into the fitting. I know Aquor was working on making a PEX adapter on the back piece. Check their website for all the different options because they're always working on something new. One done. Now I will head down to the basement and screw it on the back of the valve just like that. Let's look at that again. 3 wraps clockwise on PEX adapter. Make sure tape wraps are tight. Start threading into fitting and use crescent wrenches or channel locks to tighten. Just to show you guys a different option, here is a 6-inch valve with a 90-degree elbow fitting on the back. The 90-degree would allow the supply to come from below. Alright, now we're down in the basement. This is the first one hooked up, and I'm going to walk you through the rest of the locations. It's the 3/4 inch water line going around the perimeter. You can see that I used the longest stem length, and now I'm just on the other side of the foam insulation that's there, and that's why I've got such a long stem on mine, because I'm in a very cold climate here, so I'm going to want to make sure that the hollow part of the tube is definitely in that cold zone or that insulated zone that's going to be in the end of the floor system. And that's why I chose a 12-inch. If you're in a warmer climate, you might not want to go to that extreme. And one other step that I'm going to take is I'm going to foam these in. Now I've seen other installers, they make it quite easy to pull these out and change them out down the years. I'm not too worried that this is going to ever cause me any problems, that I'm going to be taking it out ever. And the climate here is so much colder that I'm going to worry more about sealing it up tight and making sure that there's no air leaks that are there from drilling through the belly band or through the backer plate. So spraying a little foam in the can around the stem where it was terminated through the wood is a really practical idea to keep the stem from being able to have air leaks beside where you came through. This is a super energy efficient home, and if you want to learn more about that, follow the cabin playlist. And here we are. I'm just going to use 1/2-inch PEX ring to attach to the stem and 3/4 T to connect back into my continuous 3/4 inch water line around the perimeter of the basement. Now when I get done this basement wall, there is going to be another 2x4 framed wall in front of this 2-inch foam. That'll give me an R24 in the basement against the foundation wall, and like I said, that's a pretty extreme precaution because I'm up really in a colder climate, and that's why these frost-free valves were perfect for my situation. We've been using frost-free valves for years up here, but not ones as cool as this. All right, and this is our last tee-in. It's really interesting when you're using PEX how you got to get creative with how you install it, because it gets a little tighter in areas where you can't crimp. So I like to really just dry fit all my pieces and then mentally go through how the best way to install it to get it to fit in those small spaces is. Final walkthrough of each individual section tied in. Now I'll go through, turn the valve on, and inspect for any leaks. And then I'm going to be ready to kick up top and give it a final test.